Mortal Kombat was directed by Simon McQuad and stars a bunch of people that I don't want to bother listing off. And basically, this movie tells the story of this guy named Cole Young, and he has a dragon marking right on his chest. He later finds out that that dragon marking is kind of an invitation to Mortal Kombat, which is a tournament to keep each of the realms at peace, and he is a part of the Earth realm, and he has to kind of go training and find out what his power is and how he can use it to hopefully defend his Earth. So this movie was one of my most anticipated movies of this year. As soon as that trailer dropped, I was anticipating this movie so much. I was looking forward to it. I'm a fan of the games. I enjoy playing them. I'm not delved deep into the stories and stuff, so I'm not a major fan. But I really love playing them, and I was hoping that this movie would deliver some fun actions, some cool fatalities, and nothing really that much more. So did it deliver that? Well, let's find out by starting off with the good. And the best thing about this movie is, yes, it does deliver this cool-ass action and some very, very cool fatalities. The fatalities in this movie are pulled straight from the game, and they're some of them are pretty damn gory. Also, one thing that really surprised me about this movie was the opening. I was really hooked in by the opening scene in this movie. It's probably my favorite scene in the entire movie. It's all on YouTube, and the opening was just great. It was well shot, well acted, it was well done, and it was gory, and it was great. I love the opening scene in this movie. And it kind of did take a dip after that, but I did love the opening scene of this film. And as for characters in this movie that I really liked, Kano was such a big standout. I was not expecting to like Kano as much as I did, but man, is he funny in this movie. He has so many great one-liners and everything. And speaking of the one-liners, some of them are pulled straight from the game, and some of them do work very well in this film, so I did appreciate that. As another character I did really like in this movie was Sub-Zero. He was really threatening, actually. He was more threatening than Shang Tsung. He was, whenever he showed up, there was kind of like this snow, ice, and he had this own theme with him, and it was actually kind of scary. You're like, oh shit, it's Sub-Zero. And he kind of shows up, and damn, he can do some serious damage in this film as well. Like, he was great. He was brutal and everything. Scorpion was also pretty good. He wasn't in the movie as much as I wanted him to, but he is given a character in this film, which I really appreciated. And the backstory with him and Sub-Zero was probably the most interesting aspect of this entire film. And final positive, this movie does keep a nice pace throughout. You know, there's continuous action sequences and everything, and it does have a nice kind of pace throughout the entire film where I wasn't really bored. But now let's move into my mixed aspects of this movie, and a lot of that comes down to the other characters that I have not mentioned yet. Like, for example, Kung Lao. He was pretty good in this movie. I think he does well from the game to the screen, but he wasn't great. He was just kind of there, and he didn't really feel like he had a character. Same with Liu Kang. He didn't feel like he had a really character. He was well done in this film, and I thought he was kind of cool in some sequences. He was really cool in one sequence, actually, but didn't really have much of a character. He was kind of there. Same with Raiden. He's played by a really good actor, just kind of felt there. You know, he didn't really do much in this movie. I liked what they did with his electric powers and everything, and he had some sort of a backstory, but he was just kind of there at the same time. And as for villains in this movie, I liked the design of Cabal. I thought he looked very cool. He has that kind of like effect where he runs really fast. I thought that was translated perfectly. So his action sequences are good. His line delivery is kind of like what he talks like in the game. So I thought that was pretty cool. But again, he's not given anything in this movie. No backstory. Like, how did he get his burn marks? That's literally only for the fans to know. And now let's transition to Cole Young's character, who I think is a okay enough character, but he's kind of there for the audience and for people who are not fans of the game, so they can actually have someone to like know and actually understand. But this movie is made for the fans, so I don't know understand why they put him in the movie. And he was okay. Louis Tan was fine. It was okay character, and like just most of the characters, they're there, they use their powers well, but none of them stand out as much as Sub-Zero, Scorpion, or Kano. Same with Jax and Sonya. They don't stand out as much. But now we're going to move into the bad here, and the big one that comes to mind is gotta be the script. And the fact that if you are not a fan of the Mortal Kombat games, you are not going to understand anything going on in this movie. You're not going to understand, because they don't explain any of the characters. It's like, hey, how does that guy have ice powers? Don't know. Okay, how does that guy have fire powers? Don't know. Alright, like, it just, the script has a bunch of issues, it has a bunch of potholes, and those holes can only be filled if you know the game really well. And that, I felt, was maybe if they could explain this more or make the movie even a bit longer, because it's like an hour and 50 minutes, so they could have honestly made it a bit longer, and I would have been fine with that. But it was pretty short, and there was just a bunch of plot and script holes kind of put in there. And also, speaking of the one-liners, there's so many of them, and sometimes the dialogue can really fall flat, and the acting can also kind of fall flat at times too. So that's another issue of mine. And a lot of the characters, like say Goro, he felt underutilized, and then say like Shang Tsung, he wasn't really intimidating in this movie, and Melina felt very underutilized. Like a lot of the characters just didn't feel very utilized, and this movie's kind of like a big setup film to get to the next film, which I don't even know if they're gonna make. So if they don't make another movie, then this movie will kind of feel like pointless setup for nothing to come. So if they do make another movie, then I'll kind of take that negative away. But there's a bunch of script issues and plot holes I can just see past. Obviously they're there and everything. And also, one plot hole that comes to mind in here is that you get that famous line by Scorpion where it's like, "Get over here!" But in the entire rest of the movie, he speaks only in Japanese. That's literally his only English line. It was only put in there for the fans. I mean, it was really cool, but it was only put in there for the fans. But overall, guys, for final thoughts, I think that this movie is a very enjoyable, fun movie. It has some great action sequences. It sets up for some what hopefully will be awesome sequels later down the road. And if they do make those, I would probably make this movie a bit better. Maybe if it had a bigger bit of a budget, it would be a bit better. But overall, I did really enjoy this movie. It had a bunch of cool characters, a bunch of cool action, had a bunch of plot holes and a bunch of script issues. But I could at least look past that and just have a big enjoyment with this kind of blockbuster film that we did get. So overall, guys, I'm going to give Mortal Kombat a B. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching this review. Stay tuned for more reviews coming very soon. I'm going to be ranking all 3 Mortal Kombat movies, hopefully sometime next week. Also, comment down below, what did you guys think of Mortal Kombat? Or what do you guys think of the 1990s ones? Even Annihilation. Do you guys like those ones? Do you not like those ones? All that fun stuff down below. Hit that like and subscribe button. And as always, have a great day. See you guys.